Ooh. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace, love, and light, family. This is Know the Ledge TV / Know the Ledge Media. It's your brother Blue Pill, and you are now rocking with the best. Yes, indeed. Give me 1 second. Let me get everything situated here. All right. Forgive the appearance. We're doing a little moving. Okay. Just make sure everything is working. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Yes, I'm on Zoom. Peace, love, and light, family. Welcome back to Know the Ledge Media. You are now rocking with the best. This is your host, Brother Blue Pill. All right, we have another amazing episode that we're bringing to you, as is titled The Matrix Reloaded, featuring our brother Hellraiser. All right, the brother was on the program before. We have previously had him on the program. We're bringing him back. He has some astonishing new developments and some things that he needs to share with the family in real time. Okay, so relax yourself, kick back. Another amazing episode is coming your way. All right, and without any further ado, let me go and open up the phone, or the should I say the chat line, so I can bring in our guest for the, I can't even say the evening, right? For this afternoon. Peace, bro. Are you with us? Let me unmute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, peace, love, and light. Welcome back to the platform.
Peace. How you feeling?
All is well. You're no stranger to this platform here. This is Know the Ledge Media, Brother Blue. All right. But for those that are just coming in that might not have caught you on the last time you was in the building, please introduce yourself to the family.
Yeah, I go by the name of Hellraiser or Neapolis Malik Malachi. I got different names, different codes, different areas of standing. I focus in on different areas of human rights. Some might say status correction or secure party or American national, foreign national. I focus on providing the tools and resources necessary for us to uplift our communities and build our nations.
Indeed, indeed. Let me do an audio check first and foremost. With the family, I've learned from past experiences. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes the audio could be a little bit off. So let me ask y'all in the chat room, please let me know, is the audio A1 on both ends? All right, can you hear me clearly? And can you hear the guest clearly? You can respond by either throwing up a 1. All right, there we go. They said we Gucci.
Okay, cool.
Geechee. All right, there we, thank you, family. All right. So yes, amazing introduction. Your areas of interest are areas that people seem to be. Wait a minute. So yes, yeah. Like I said, your areas of interest seem to be areas that people are very much interested in these days. A lot of conversation has been amounting in different circles about status correction and people call sovereignty these days, you know?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of areas of interest that, are centered around this particular conversation. And of course, you know, the ways to do it and the ways not to do it also is one of the mainstays of the conversation these days. Um, so how does one differentiate, you know, out the gate? How does one differentiate from someone who's dealing with this information and it's A1, it's on top of their thing, as opposed to people that just might have watched the seminar, you know, got a Johnny Liberty book, and all of a sudden they're on the front line liberating melanated people the world over.
Oh well, yeah. Well, yeah, that's another big issue that I see going on these days. A lot of people are are skipping class and going right into graduation and being the front of the class. You know,
Yes.
so all they're doing, a lot of people are just regurgitating, repeating information that they heard from third parties without taking the time to you know, go through each individual process themselves to gain the experience, in return gain the true knowledge of each individual situation.
Indeed. Indeed.
Before we get started too deep, I always forget this. I want to give my, you know, my gratitudes and shout outs for one to you, to your whole platform, to everything you guys are doing in general. Shout out to my team, A-Bay Management,
Yes, yes, yes.
Industry Guard, Trade Capital, and everybody else that's been a part of this whole movement. And you guys can follow me on IG at Hail2Razor, HAIL, the number 2, and RAZOR. And can always contact me for business related to anything we're discussing at 888-597-8825. Extension 101 to be fine. And we'll get into it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, shout out to Brother Mir Bay, of course. Shout out to DJ and the entire team over there doing what they do so illustriously. All right.
Absolutely.
And for the family in the chat, let's get them likes up, man. All right, so we can notify people that you know, on YouTube, on the internet, that need something of substance to watch at this particular time. I hit those like buttons so they can recommend and suggest this video to more people so they could benefit from the information, because the information is beneficial. All right. So with no further ado, brother, I want to allow you to get into your thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, I almost forgot YouTube too. YouTube at The Hellraiser. I don't do many videos, so I definitely recommend you guys tuning in when we do these specials. I had to cut back on a lot of videos because I realized that, you know, the same people that I'm trying to, you know, share and enlighten at the same time, just like Malcolm X said, you're gonna have that room full of the vultures and people that's trying to take the information from us and use for their own negative purposes.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm gonna try to. I have a hard time giving half information, so but I'm gonna try to code things in a way where I can get the message through to the people that understand and understand, and you know, without, you know, watering it down too much.
Indeed, indeed.
I think the biggest issue in general is the fact that it's a lot of miseducation. It's a lot of miseducation because of misinformation. And in the area that we're talking about today, as far as dealing with status and things of that nature, it's just, it boils down to the point of it being too much information, you know, and then, you know, because it's, you know, 2019 going into 2020, you know, it's pros and cons to everything. You know, the pro is that we have access to unlimited information. All you have to do is, you know, put the time and energy to seek, and you shall find. But the downside that comes to that, having access to so much information, you have access to all the information, the good and the bad. So we're not programming ourselves to be able to look and seek for things with that third eye vision. We're gonna fall into multiple rabbit holes and constantly keep playing the cat and mouse game, you know.
Indeed. Something that's coming up next year that seems to be very pivotal. You know, they were adamant about this when we was overseas in the UK. They wanted more information on it. and I did a little research when I came home, and I need to do a lot more research, is the Real ID Act. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you have any information that you can speak on?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Real ID Act. Okay, so we first thing we got to acknowledge what is the issue, was the possible issue. The possible issue is that it affects travel, right? So it affects travel amongst the city and state roads. So I don't necessarily worry about what they're gonna do and different updates, because they're updating all the time. People don't realize that once you submit it to that particular contract to to become a driver, which removes you from and waives you from your God-given rights to travel, and even the rights that they gave you within the Constitution. You waive your rights to travel in exchange for a privilege to drive. So we got to understand, in order to come with a solution, we got to find the foundation of the source of the problem. So the problem is not the update, the Real ID. The problem is the original contract, and us not realizing that was the problem to begin with. So how do we deal with it? We either eliminate the contract, or leverage and use it when needed, to our best, whenever it serves our best interests, or use it without waiving any rights. So the Real ID Act, it only affects those that don't know. So the Real ID Act only affects those residents and cities within those states. That's within the corporation of the United States.
Right. And how does somebody go about either one, gaining more information, you know, about those particular subtleties and those differences, and two, like you said, pretty much acquiring the necessary keys to get out of that matrix?
Absolutely. I don't know if we can flip to video, if I can show you something.
We could, yeah, if you have a you can share screen.
Okay.
I think you should have that option on your end as well.
No, I think I have the basic. I have a chat. I can raise my hand and Q&A.
All right, let me do this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you the authority to be a panelist as well. All right, and that should
Got it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So my thing is, I try to be as realistic as possible when developing, solutions. You know, that's another thing I see a lot of people are presenting unrealistic solutions. That most people can't grasp, and everything is a circumstantial. It depends on the person's individual situation. Because the first alternative that I'm going to mention to you, that might work for most people, but it may not be the best solution, or it might have to have a combination of a couple of different things to better suit that person, because they still are a hired driver that's transporting fleet across the state line. So they need to operate in commerce and to play that driver role. That's their job,
Right.
contract. So, but in general, we do not need a driver's license to travel. If you're traveling from point A to point point A to point B in your private conveyance, you're not operating in commerce at that point in time. But
Right.
when you have a driver's license, that's letting them know, that gives them the assumption. So when we're dealing in law, everything is about assumptions, presumptions, things like that. So they assume that you are operating in commerce every time you operate that vehicle. And then they switch and play with words. So they turn automobile into vehicle code. So now they hit you up on. So now they try. That's how they strategically convert from law into codes, and then they present the codes and the statutes and the policies and procedures back to the people in a fashion where they believe and assume that these codes and statutes are law. But it's to the point where the people that are enforcing this, these codes and statutes, they believe that it's law. So everybody is confused. You see what I mean? And we tend to come across certain information and get mad at the people that's enforcing it. I'm not really mad at this guy. I'm not mad at this police officer. He has no clue about what the hell he's doing, why he's doing it. He's doing his job, which is why it's pointless to get into altercations with these guys. They're public service, but they're here to serve their masters. You know, these are the gatekeepers. So, you know, I don't really waste too much time doing it. I just operate accordingly on a per situation basis. But I'm gonna flip my screen real quick. All right. So we have an organization. This is the thing. Before we start trying to declare our independence, and everybody's talking about pulling themselves out of the United States and stuff like that. Well, people don't understand what type of responsibility that comes along with that. You know, that means that you're saying that you have all the things, all the corporations and organizations built, established, and organized and in place in a structured fashion to be able to operate privately in. So if you pull out the state, you pull out the DMV, you pull out all this, okay, but unless you're gonna live up under a rock somewhere, you're still gonna have to contract on a day-to-day basis with the corporations that's within inside the corporation. So that's not realistic, you know? Right. So you're cutting the cord prematurely. So tactfully, we need to understand what voids need to be filled, fill the ones we can right now, but don't make too much noise until we build a force. So when we have a body of people across the nation that have organizations and things in place, because we need organizations. But the problem is, one of our biggest problems, we can't build an organization because we have no sense of organization. Right. Everybody's all over the place. Let me see.
Right, that's a conundrum.
Yeah.
How you gonna build organization and people don't have, you know, they don't know the first thing about organizing.
You have to know what we need as well. You know what I'm saying? And prioritize those needs. Some people are jumping the gun too quick, which are destroying possible processes that could have worked. It could have had longevity, but, you know, jumping the gun and skipping steps, you know, because everybody wants everything to happen, you know, tomorrow, you know, but that's not realistic, you know. But I personally believe that one of the biggest things we can focus on to start to build a foundational piece is reclaiming our God-given rights in general, you know, God-given rights to travel and to do anything up under the universe. So, but we need the tools to do so. So many people, you know, might sell people right to travel packages and affidavits and tell you to send to all these authorities, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is blah, 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 because what happens is that people don't understand that, see, as we're operating in a disorganized fashion, the oppressors and gatekeepers see us trying to establish some type of organization. So they're always going to take advantage of that as far as categorizing us. So since we can't categorize or organize each other, they begin to categorize and organize. So that's when they give us that code now. So now sovereign citizen is a bad word at this point. You know, even though we need to practice our sovereignty, right? You know what I'm saying? So we need to practice our sovereignty. We need to realize that we're sovereign, but we need to understand operating out here in commerce and in this particular matrix is not the smartest thing to go that around or allow yourself to be labeled as a sovereign citizen. And a sovereign citizen in general, that's still like an oxymoron too, because you still connect yourself with the word citizen and everything else. So wordplay is a big deal. You know, we can't get. And our people have a false sense of entitlement. That's why we're so quick to grab hold to titles and stuff. I really don't care about titles. You know, I understand. I use mental banks to kind of categorize things so I can identify it, but I'm not stuck with a particular title because I need to be able to convert and alter self at any given time. You have attachment issues to a title. We can't do that, which is which is a big issue with a lot of the organizations that do have large bodies of people. I'm not even gonna say no names, but I see the same problem with the organization that do have large bodies of people. They have all these people, but no solutions. You have all these people, but no solutions. They're still doing the same thing the same way. We don't understand that we're taught, we've been programmed, psychologically programmed on how to defend ourselves against the oppressor, against the enemy. How you gonna allow the enemy to train you on how to defend yourself against them? Or we have a big issue. What do we go do? We go march. That stuff doesn't work. It looks good, but that doesn't solve the problem. Then we talk about we're going to vote. We're talking about we get stuck into the whole political matrix. We need to have our hands in politics and pay attention, so to speak, but not necessarily entertain their game. That has nothing to do with us, what they're doing at all. That has nothing to do with that. Unless we're we can't at one end say we're pulling out from the United States corporation and coming back to America, going back to America, but then we worry about what they talking about on politics with the presidency and stuff like that. But we've allowed, I don't know, we scared to be ourselves. We sit up and watch the so-called royal kings and princes and stuff, the Queen Elizabeth and the Sir Charles and stuff like that, and we accept the power that's presented to us, but we don't operate in that same capacity. Like we don't label our kids, prince, princess, kings, and queens. We just regular people. So we're gonna believe that.
I mean, the education factor is missing. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like this is no longer mandatory reading. So the people are bewildered. I just came from the UK, and the family over there don't even know this history. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere over there. And the people that are seeing it every day are dumbfounded. They don't know it. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea. There's nobody teaching it. You dig what I'm saying? So there's so much that's buried in plain sight. That the people if they had an idea, if they even, you have to want power to seek it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have to identify what power as being something that not only belongs to you, but you're willing to do. I don't want to say whatever, right? I don't want to say whatever, but you're willing to, you're willing to be uncomfortable long enough to secure a level of comfort that you can pass on to your progeny. You know what I'm saying? How about that? Mm-hmm. Because absolutely, doing whatever for a buck, that's like niggas got out here and sold crack. You know what I'm saying? And so crack the pregnant mothers for Jordans. Like they did whatever. We know what that shit looks like. I ain't talking about that. You know what I'm saying? What does the flip side of that look like for liberation though? Mm-hmm. Right? What is the flip side? Like, what is niggas willing to do and laying it all on the line and putting it all on the table for your freedom? What does that look like? Man. And we've never seen that. So
many people can't tap into their true power because they're afraid of the dark. They're afraid of darkness. But you have to be able to go through the darkness in order to see the light. So it's like they're afraid of the dark and they're afraid of themselves. They're looking at everything else outside themselves to find themselves or to find God. And that's the biggest issue. We've fallen at an extraordinarily long state and far state from our true selves and higher selves, which is why I'm trying my best to come up with the most solid solutions that take the least amount of money and the least amount of time, so people can get to where they need to go at and get to where they need to be at financially, so they can start buying back their time. The problem is that we're controlled by the clock, and you're not on your time anymore. So my objective is to get people back on their own watch. I got clocks in every room in my house, but I don't put batteries in them. Why? Because it doesn't matter what time it is. It's my time. I move on my time, my watch only. And so we have to break the concept of time. Once we do that, we might begin to remember how we was time traveling and how we was communicating before cell phones came out. But we have to buy the time back.
Yeah, that's
So
deep. I got a lesson in time again from traveling overseas, and I'm somewhere that's 6 hours ahead of New York. New York is 3 hours ahead of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? China's on a different time. Africa's on. So I'm like, what is time? It's very relative. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as a quote unquote sovereign, you simultaneously exist in all of these time zones. You should have business dealings in all of them.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? You should have people that's attached to your empire in all of these places. You feel me? Um, so yeah, the time thing is crazy.
Time is a very, time within itself. We can go, that could be a whole show. But
A whole
it
show.
like in reality, what you just did when you went out there to London, like like you said, you felt it. You can feel the difference. And if we realize it, because I think we overlook the things that we do. We don't even realize what's happening. Like in all actuality, technically, you did skip time. You time travel. You went from one time to another. You see what I mean?
That's
So,
that's a fact.
and that's a fact. That's a fact.
Fact.
So, man, man, I can only imagine that time skip. You could feel it. We could feel a time skip just from leaving here to going somewhere like Las Vegas. It's a time. Because it's time, and then we have it's a frequency change. So you jump to these high frequency places. We go to LA, we go to Vegas. Like so the frequency. So now we get going from time, frequency, and speed. So time and speed at the same time. How long did it take you to travel from XYZ to London? You see what I mean? So
Mhm.
all this gives us the element on how to really control the time and how to manipulate it. They tell us, they give us examples of this, and even a multidimensional existence. They gave us that breakdown inside the movie The One with Jet Li.
Yeah.
That's what the whole movie was about. His whole objective was to go travel intergalactically in most of the missions and find self. He was trying to find self and destroy self, because every self that he found, he become closer to self. But he had to become one. He had to become one with self. That's why they call the movie The One. But they had these intergalactic police that was trying to stop him from capturing himself, because they were trying to scare him to believe, like, well, you're gonna die, right? If you do that. He said, also it's a possibility I could become God. I could become a God.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
He
Maybe
was
not.
willing to take that risk.
Are you willing to take that risk?
And that's the scariest thing, the thing that pretty much separates people from themselves, from freedom, from their true you on the other side of fear and all of that other stuff, is the willingness to take the risk. You know what I'm saying? It shuts them down every time.
Every
You
time.
know?
And when we traveling on that wave, we actually undefeated. All true wars are always fought in the spirit realm, in the spirit world. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we submit down to fighting things on this third dimensional plane, we always subject to a defeat. But they can never defeat us on the spirit realm. You
Yeah,
know.
man. You know, I just did some amazing work, on the spirit realm, you know, not only out in London or the UK for that matter, but even when we got back here, like it's been nonstop. So, you know, if anybody's listening to this and you need some confirmation, you dig what I'm saying? I'll be that confirmation for you, right? That you can wage war on principalities, in the spirit realm, and it's definitely gonna have physical ramifications in the realm of quote unquote matter, in the reality that we contractually consent to say, oh, this is the reality that we're experiencing. No, this is a reality that's projected. It matriculates down from, you know, different ethereal planes that, you know, physicality or solid matter doesn't exist. You know, this is downstairs. This is the basement. You feel me? But them
Absolutely.
upper realms, them higher rooms that we go into, yeah, that's what's really taking place at, you know? And yeah, you know, my whole thing, I don't even need to testify no more. You know, we got these cameras and we have been capturing footage of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's documented, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's documented, and the world will soon bear witness. You feel me? Only for the sole purposes that we want to ignite something in you out there so you can push forward and no longer be stuck in the mundaneness of feeling like, you know, you got these you exist within a prison and you don't. There's nothing holding you back but your unwillingness to take a risk.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. We're not acting upon our thoughts too, which should be our greatest sin. You know, we come across a brilliant idea, or we feel a sense of need to do something. We don't act, and we don't act in time. See, we it's like we can easily project ourselves, to a higher level just by acting in time. But we play these mind games with ourselves. We wait for some type of validation from ourselves or from other people. Instead of taking the action and doing exactly what we can do at that exact time, instead of looking to have everything to be able to make a move. Just do absolutely what you can do at that very second. And that's how we can easily manifest things into existence. But we wait too long, we second guess, and at the end of the day, we lose the sense of belief within self. So the first objective is to believe. So believe in self without no validation. Only person that can validate you is you.
It's you.
You know,
You. You know what
we
I'm
are the
saying?
validators.
That's why I'm a very big advocate of imagination. You know what I'm saying? What they say? They say you have to be onto like children to into the kingdom of heaven. And that don't mean that you gotta be in pampers. It means that you still have to have a relationship with your imagination, with your imaginary mind, the ability to conjure things from the thinness of nothingness and bring it into, you know, into the scene, into reality. All of that comes from here. You
Mhm.
know, my brother 19 Keys says all things existed twice. First in the mind, you know, and then in the realm of physicality.
Mhm.
So imagination is key. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
people have suppressed, supplanted, removed, dumbed down, you know, closed the door on their own imagination in return for somebody else's imagination.
We had a, you know what, we had a real resourceful time. A lot of things have been, we have a lot of interferences, as far as the technology and the whole wavelengths, the Bluetooths and the Wi-Fi's and stuff like that. But it is still easy to tap in if you know where to go, and if you're able to keep an open mind, just like you say, imagination, right? So imagination goes hand in hand with things like animation. You see what I mean? So imagination, animation, and I say animation. And I know people be thinking this shit be funny or some shit, but I be telling people, like, if you want the answers, so a lot of the answers, especially on how to utilize our energies, our energy, and things that way, and manifest our spiritual powers. They are showing this shit exactly in these fucking animations. From Dragon Ball Z, Street Fighter, to the Last Airbender animation, and people can believe it or not, but this stuff has been well practiced. You see what I mean? To be facts. But in a nutshell, people are afraid of the dark. People have to start challenging their mind and tricking their mind. Just like we go to the gym, you want to shock your muscles. You see what I mean? We have to shock different areas in our brain to activate certain areas of our brain that's dormant. So you have to do like things that people might question, like, why are you reading that? When I first started digging deep into metaphysics and things like that, I would do mental reps, triggering different parts of I would trigger. So you want to trigger the different elements, you know, different emotions. So you want to trigger fear. You want to trigger the happiness. You want to trigger the motivative sections of your brains. All these different things. So I would read things like I would read like a few pages from the Satanic Bible, and then a few pages from the Quran, a few pages from the St. James Bible, a few pages like shit that people wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because whoa, what are you doing? You know, like just like imagine somebody walks in your house and see like actually when somebody come to my house now, they're gonna see that big Bible right there. They're gonna laugh because they know me. But it's like, but they don't. That's a family Bible. Everybody needs to have a family Bible. Those are your manuscripts. That is your law of your house. You have to establish. See, people, we're trying to change the world, but not changing things within the house first. The house is the foundation. The nation is just everything that was established inside the house, and we just mimic that. So, getting back to, actually, we skipped the whole thing with the whole traveling thing. We get off to that. So look, these are the identifications. So we have international driving permits issued by the Foreign Traveler Administration. Now, you have to be in the network. I'm trying to see without the gloss. You have to be in the network to gain access to this, and it's a process. Like right now, we have a special going on that comes with everything. Everything's all inclusive. It comes with the international driver's license. It comes with the international driving permit. It comes with the special vehicle trust. So it's a trust established strictly for traveling, strictly for that particular car or vehicle or automobile. Also, the UCC lien filing for the vehicle, that's putting your superior claim on the property, alongside with your fee schedules and exempting it from the commercial chambers. Also, it's going to come with a couple tutorial videos on how to operate, how not to operate, you know, things to look out for, how to defend yourself if you were encountered by law enforcement, different tips and tricks on how to, defend yourself in, court situations and things like that, how to contract and how not to contract. So all these things are included, before a person is able to receive an international driving permits, international driver's license offered by the Foreign Travel Administration, they still have to pass a general driving test, because you can't have just random people coming in that don't even know how to drive. At least show proof they have something with an understanding of traveling. Then also I think it's a 70 or 75 question test, and it's in relation to sovereignty, understanding, just generalized information regarding human rights, contracting, in the fashion of secure party sense. So everybody that's in tune with the secure party creditor thing, this is pretty much the test for them. I don't expect, this test wasn't designed to be hard. It's a test to show that you have somewhat of a generalized understanding of the private side, because we're not here to just be handing out identifications and tools, because people, if we're not providing the knowledge and resources and certifying that people have a generalized understanding, we can't get mad if people go out there and destroy this stuff.
Right. Now, of course, I have to ask you what everyone else might ask you, you know what I'm saying, in a roundabout way, have people traveled outside of the country and returned utilizing those documents?
Everything is on a case-by-case basis. These documents are strictly designed for travel on the road. So we're just not dealing with the aspect of by plane yet. So by plane, as of right now, we do have a couple of different options as far as in relation to the standard U.S. passport. I'm not putting it out there yet. Maybe if somebody keeps asking about it, we'll just, or whatever like that on an individual basis. But on a massive tip, we're not putting it out there because what we're working on. I don't know if people know this, but I was the guy that was bringing, I don't know those that's familiar with the World Service Authority, the guys that's doing the world passports and things like that. The guys that most deaf went through basically. Everybody knows that story. So these guys were on my platform. I was bringing all these people together that had these organizations that provided a valuable tools and resources for our people to operate, in the private. But there are certain complications as it relates to their vision and our vision. And we're back at point A. So because of that, what we're doing now is we're gonna be issuing out our own passports for our private American nationals, foreign nationals that's here in America. We should have something solidified by the end of year, early next year. But like I say, I could just press a button right now and have passports on the street in 2 weeks to a month. But I don't move like that. I make sure shit is thorough. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want people getting jammed up and getting lost in Jamaica somewhere. You see what I mean? So it's worth the time and effort to perfect the process before we get high on the supply.
Feel you. But the particular documents that you showed a minute ago, that's good for interstate quote unquote travel.
Right. That is the alternative solution to what everybody's worried about with the real ID. But that's besides the whole traveling outside, as far as by airplane. Now, have we used the the world passports and stuff like that to travel? Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. Does it have its flaws? Of course. There's certain things that need to be done. I have my world passport right here, and how we did my world passport. I have international visa. I don't know what the matrix is like.
Yeah, the matrix.
You see how every time I show the ID, like I'm a green screen. I'm not a green screen.
Yeah, like the matrix. You like, whoa.
I'm not a green screen. That is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so what happened is what I was trying to do. I was trying to when I was negotiating with the World Service Authority before we decided to go ahead and start development of our own passports. I was trying to find a way to marry the passport with our international driver's license and things of that nature, which we did. Like we go to inside the world passport, there's a page in there that has okay, so affiliations on page 6 of the world passport. So there's diplomatic affiliation, organizations, firms, et cetera. So on there, now they're going completely invisible. Okay, they don't want y'all to see that.
Yeah.
I definitely like I said, but we did get that far. So there is levels to it that can help give.
They got a translucent filter. And they try hard to keep up. They're like, block it out. You could be on here showing documents.
So I like, look, it's like a pro and a con, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's a pro and a con. I like to show and tell. I'm a show and tell type of guy. I don't like doing all the talking with no evidence, nothing to show offhand. And the majority of people are doing that. People need to be able to see things. People need something tangible. So, you know what I'm saying? People, that's the reality. And then we need alternatives because, all right, so everybody, look, I can get everybody to come running for these IDs, right? Now, we have two different types of IDs. We're gonna, the updated IDs are actually gonna have, are gonna be bank cards as well. I can't get into the details on the full functionality of the card, but I will say this. there is a system in place that we're implementing that would give us the power to revoke and suspend the international driver's license if need be. We have to have control. You see what I mean? We can't have people out here running wild. So this is so things still need to be regulated. See, people misunderstand this freedom and sovereignty movement. I mean, oh, we just get to do whatever we want. If everybody just doing what everything they want to do, that's not organization.
Right.
You see what I mean? So that's not what we're about. So our objective is to provide solutions, but to be extraordinarily thorough on our security and how we control these devices, you know, to make sure people don't go crazy out here. But at the same time, the objective is to build time and space to bring people on board nationwide, so we can have emergency call centers, so we can have, you know what I'm saying, private and public counsel. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a legal defense. We have to utilize our resource to establish our militaries. Eventually, we got to get our money up and start having our own private planes, airports. See, we can't be crying this declaration shit. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I haven't met too many people that's actually officially declared their independence. I declared mine. I have my scroll upstairs. You know, I signed the contract and put it on the record. So who signed the Declaration of Independence? Or unless we assume that it applied to us. So things like that. And I say stuff like that to trigger a thought. Because now when we sleep at night, we're gonna think of all the other shit that we didn't actually accept and adopt for ourselves, but we assume that it applied to us, which is why we don't have any fucking rights. We have privileges. So it goes back to the solution. So now let's say a person comes in and they take the exams, they pass with flying colors. Now they're certified to get the traveling documents. Now we have two different dynamics. This is in relation to a person that doesn't work on the road for a living. So average person. So they're either going to own the car or they're going to have a lease or a finance agreement. So now for a person, most people are going to have a finance agreement. So I'm going to start with that example first. Person have a financing agreement with the car. That means that they don't own the vehicle. They don't have the title. So in that case, we have to do a process that allows them to register the vehicle as normal. But it's how we register the vehicle is going to be the key. So that's when the business trust is established. So now, this example is also an example if a person has like suspended driver's license. So that means that the person shouldn't be registering the vehicle in their name, because now you register the vehicle in your name, you got the registration, and now you got plates that a police officer can run. Reruns the place, he can see who is registered to. He can see that the person that's registered to got suspended driver's license. You get pulled over, now you go to jail. So we got to avoid this shit before it happens. So in order to do this, we got to take things a step further and deal with the vehicle. Now, if we go rent a car with these, which is we do with no problem, we go rent a car with these, now we don't have any problems because it's not registered to us. It's a rental. So we'll be fine just with that. But if with your vehicle, it needs to be registered inside of your business trust. So we establish the business trust, and we establish a business trust in a way where they won't ask you for identification.
Right.
They won't ask you for a social security number, your birth certificate. Right. They don't even go out there and look at the vehicle. At least they didn't with me. They didn't even go look at. Don't try to go out there and look and check the odometer and the VIN number and stuff like that. They ain't even do none of that shit. But in order to
I was about to ask you if you ever seen Back to the Future.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember when he was changing the timeline and the people started disappearing out of his picture?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's how they had you a sec. It went back to normal just now, but you was in the Matrix for real. Like you talking that high science, and you was opening portals up in your career. Like entities was coming through. Like
that's crazy.
I need documentations to travel up here in this astral realm too. I think they speed up here. They got tolls and bridges.
This the whole thing. See, so when we start talking, equity, the whole system is ran in fiat. It's false. It's fake. But when we start presenting equitable instruments, like injunctions, private bonds, private silver bonds, things like that. These are things that are backed by things of substance and of true value, gold and silver. We're up under the perception that and misunderstanding based on misunderstanding that there is no real money. That's what everybody's saying. There is no real money. Yeah, there's no real money in public circulation. That means I'm not going to take my coins in my pocket that stay in my left pocket at all times. I'm just giving y'all another tip. Silver in your left pocket at all times. That's your receivership. Your left is your receiving hand.
Let them know.
The right, it goes out. It's your giving hand. Ever since I started implementing
these, one more again, man, because I don't know if they heard you, bro.
Your left is your receivership. Everything that goes in stays in. Your right is your left. For some strange odd reason, I just realized this. Mostly all my jean pockets, my right pocket always ends up having a hole in it. I don't know if because but I put pins in both pockets.
Like that, yeah.
It's always a hole in so I can't put change. I cannot put change in there. That's money in there. It's gonna fall out. But in my left pocket, where I keep my silver at and my jade and my crystals, it stays solid.
That's right.
So don't you know when you start practicing certain spiritual tactics and it works, I'm not finna go against it. I'm not finna second guess it anymore. You see what I mean? Now I'm just gonna multiply on the science, because it boils down to, it's not about the money. It's not about making more money. It's about changing your frequency. Wealth is a frequency. Wealth is a vibration. It's a wave. You have to feel it, jump on it, and ride it. So now we get to, okay, we need our private bonds. Damn, I'm not gonna let y'all see none of this. So we need,
and it's an interesting correlation. Not to cut you. I just want to add on that even in the jewelry realm, you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with these stones, hold on. They they tell you stones on the left, metals on the right, in jewelry. And I have to look that up now to even see if that's 100%, you know what I'm saying, all the way, because the lady that told me, she was like a witch. You feel me? So I don't know if she was purposely looking to throw the energy off, but she said,
wait, no. You say stones on the left?
Yeah, but I know in terms of receivership, in terms of fiat or any form of currency, I keep it on my left. Mm-hmm. And if it's USDs in my pocket, I keep the faces of the presidents pointing opposite, down instead of up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I line everything up unilaterally. I don't have mismanaged bills or notes in my pocket. You know what I mean? Everything has to be unilateral. I keep it on the left, and I put my metals in my pocket on the left. Now, like I said, I have to research why they're saying keep your jewelry or your metal jewelry on the right as opposed to your stone jewelry on your left.
Yeah, let me know about that.
I got stones in every pocket, so.
Stuff a pocket full of stones. Look, I keep that number 8 on me too on the left pocket.
That's right.
Keep that number 8 on me.
I see you got a translucent iPad. That's the future. Apple looking for you after this. Like, yo, you got the blueprints. You got the see-through iPad.
Oh, real.
Yeah, they got you in and out of the Matrix. So I mean, this is the Matrix Reloaded. So
yeah, it's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get them. So man, I mean, so that's one of the alternative solutions for traveling on the roads. And look, I don't know, how many people are experiencing this, but I know like out here in Chicago, I know Memphis is heavy. I know Detroit is heavy. I know a lot of the bigger cities. They are sucking people dry from taxation fees and suspensions and stuff like
Missouri,
that. And
Missouri.
that stuff, I
Right.
just seen people wrapped around the corner waiting to
We
go to
got
court.
we got the documentation when they went and did the research in Ferguson and Missouri. They said that state is just set up to bankroll people in traffic court. And I've been to plenty of classes with Raz Mariah and the team where they have just shredded the concept of traffic court, of it being illegal and just part of these municipalities, but it has no bearing and standing in law.
It don't.
And people who refuse for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, to acknowledge this information or just do the basic research. Because even before you do the basic research, you even have to open up your mind to quote unquote receive, to believe. And then you could go past the realm of belief once you do the research to a gnosis to say, yo, case law says this and this says that. But the best part is taking your behind in that building yourself and challenging them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you can see for yourself once you
want-
dismantle that particular matrix paradigm, right? Little old you.
Mm-hmm.
Go up in there and catch a body.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
got to. I encourage I think anybody that's talking this private, sovereign, secure party, American national talking, this the life you want to live, it's mandatory for you to get your feet wet in court, and start practicing. Get on the court and start dribbling the ball, start dunking on the ass. Because the second you get your first victory, oh, it's a wrap. The second you see how they start crumbling.
Yeah, when you get that first taste, it's gonna be nonstop. You're gonna be in super mode.
Look, I got one book to share. People got to get their hands on Word Magic. This book right here. Word Magic.
Yeah, we can see.
Word Magic, the power and the code of definitions of words. Very, very heavy. Now, in court, see, I can tell people how to deal with court in 5 minutes on a general level, especially dealing with these BS traffic tickets and stuff like that. I was just in court recently, which I don't go to court often, only through administrative process through mail. But this particular case, I went to court. I'm always going last and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there watching, and each court is a little different. I was able to see before each individual person came up to the stand, they had them lining up to sign waivers to waive their rights.
Wow.
I'm looking like, are they serious? So this is what they see.
They've got a lot more aggressive, a lot more tactical. You know what I'm saying?
That's great though. See, when I see something like that, it's both sickening, but I clap my hands and say, good, because that shows me that they're comfortable, right? If they're that bold to tell you to stand right here, line up right here and sign these waivers before you come. They know 99% of people that walk through that court on a day-to-day basis are incompetent, legally or lawfully. You see what I mean? And it's to the point now where if that's the comfortability of the court and how the courts are typically around the country, then those same people that operate that same system have also got to a level of comfort because they are not used to defending themselves. So when we come in there and start busting on their head, they start, they seem to be this big old giant We start throwing these straightforward jabs, but we clean them out though one jab because they weak, because they not used to defending themselves. They ain't got no chin. So it's like they start crumbling. That goes for the judges, the district attorneys, you know, all of them. It's a bunch of fraud going on. But when you start coming in there and presenting life, the only purpose of going to court is to show proof of life. I'm here, I'm alive and well. I'm here to deal with the matter in regards to the estate and trust. Right. On this authenticated birth certificate, as you can see, I'm the executor over the estate and trust, and you the trustee. That's it. We tell them, your job is tell them who you are, who you're not, and appoint them in their positions. After appointment, you make your demand. The demand is to settle and discharge the case. Simple as that. You know, also, they try to checkmate you by saying, are we going to go to trial? So everybody be scared to go to trial. Oh, they say trial. I mean, are we going to get the police officer involved? Like, oh, shoot. Then we go to court, we see the police officer, we really get scared. We are not worried about him showing up. You know what I'm saying? He means nothing, because the only thing you have to let the court know for the record that you acknowledge the fact that first of all, you need to ask the court, is this a jury trial or trial by jury? Two different things. Two different things. We see they want you to go into the trial, into a jury trial where you is their word against yours. I mean, that's when they call a police officer in and he tells his tale and you tell yours, if they give you the voice to speak. A lot of times they don't let you talk without some attorney or public defender. But if you go in there correct, they're gonna let you say whatever you want to say, because they're gonna respect you operating your private attorney general capacity. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna even suggest you get a lawyer. We don't want a jury trial. We want the trial by jury. We want them to go get 12 regular citizens of this particular community and send them some jury duty notices and tell them to come on this date and time. And I want them to be, if we're gonna do a trial, since y'all want to do a trial, let's do it. Like, they don't want to do that because that takes more time and money out the court, right? And then now that forces everybody to speak under oath. They have to present certain levels of evidence, and it's just, they don't want to do that. So they run every time, you know, especially if they're on some fraud stuff. As long as you didn't accept any contracts when you first walked in there. Don't ever admit that you're the person that they calling on the paper. Are you John Doe? I'm John of the Doe family, or the House of Doe. So you're not John Doe. They looking at the paper for a reason. They're looking down. They're looking down at you and looking up. There's two different. It's a trick question. I can't be on the paper and in front of you at the same time. That's why I'm here to show proof of life. I'm here and I'm alive and well. I'm John of the Doe family, minister over the state and trust. I'm here to discharge and settle this matter. The judge is the trustee, as well as the church. I mean, not the church, the courts and all of its administrators. Once you start appointing them in their position, because we assume once we appointed them to be judge in the beginning, that appointment discontinues. We supposed to make our appointments on a case-by-case basis to these officials. If you don't appoint them in their position, they have no other choice but to operate outside of their position. That's why they start doing shit that we know is illegal, but we're trying to figure out why our paperwork not working or why what we saying not working, because you didn't make the proper appointment.
Absolutely. You know, and it still might sound very far-fetched for some people. You know what I mean? I know how field works. I know how the magnanimous nature of the municipality must be bearing down on people, especially if they either work for the state, rely on the state or the feds, you know, to feed, clothe, and shelter them and stuff of that nature. Like, you know, people have a relationship with these entities that are one in which they look at them like they're their daddies, their parents, they're caretakers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So the last thing that they would think of is being defiant in the face of their daddy or their parents. You know what I mean? Telling they folks take a seat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, and then it's the other fear campaigns, like the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine thing just took place. So people are like terrified of federal court and system, and you know.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we do have to, we can't fear, but we do have to be careful, which is why I took an extreme focus on traffic first. I mean, travel first, because they always catch our ass lacking in traffic. I see a lot of us fall. So we can get that back under control. That everything else will transpire, a lot easier. But we can't be we do need to know when to move. We need to eliminate argument, because it's dangerous to be, on the side of the road and declaring our rights and stuff like that and trying to make this guy understand what the heck he's talking about. And like I said, all they're gonna do is categorize you as a sovereign citizen. And at this point, that's not a good category to be in. Those are they have that red label. I had to defend myself several times against that title. I've been locked up before and seen my name on the board with the words sovereign citizen in blue, all in right up on the board and stuff. Like they're being trained to identify everybody talking anything in relation to what we're talking about here. No matter what, if you're Moorish American, no matter what you claiming, you a sovereign citizen. So we gotta break that or change that perception. But that takes the miseducated. The reason we even got that bad rap, because there's so many of us was out here throwing paperwork all over the place and not knowing how to properly utilize and stand on that stuff. And we're doing more arguing and debating than anything. We're not here to argue and debate. We actually come in peace. If we need to go to war, we go to war. But the objective is knowing how to mind your business. Mind your own business. Operate as in your diplomatic capacity. In a professional manner. I don't go to court talking all type of loud stuff. I talk very direct, very precise, at a low, comfortable, respectful, honorable tone, and I get that, and I get the respect I need to give back. My objective is just don't F with me. Don't play with me. I don't play with you. So, but in certain cases, you might have to take things a lot further just to protect yourself and to protect your family. Without going into a lot of details, I just had a situation where I had to move the whole family because I was going to bust them in their head with these lawsuits and stuff like that. And I didn't think it was smart to stay in the same facility that I'm going to war in. So they don't expect a so-called melanated or black, whatever you want to call yourself, to be able to move like that, to have the time and the money to defend themselves on whatever level. So I don't take losses very easy, and I got to believe at the same time the enemy doesn't either. So no matter what I know and what I know I can do in my individual capacity, we've all heard these cop stories. So like I said, I get up out that jam and then I start shooting.
Indeed. All right. So I know there's something in particular that you wanted to bring forward to the family in terms of some new developments.
Definitely. So I break things down in different sectors because it's so much stuff going on. One of the new organizations that has been established is called Industry Guard. So Industry Guard is labeled as like the new IG. You know what I'm saying? Actually, right. I don't know if they're gonna let y'all see it. I don't know what's up with my screen, man.
Yeah.
Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay, so we got Industry Guard. Industry Guard, like I said, is the new IG. Industry Guard is actually a child corp of the parent corp Trade Capital, but it's on a higher tier as far as service line. Trade Capital focuses on establishing trust, business trust, and business formation. So we established established a family trust. We established we built the company from the ground up. The package includes everything from your logo, your business cards, your voiceover for your voicemail, your Duns and Bradstreet number, your foreign EIN number. Everything we do, we make sure we don't attach the person back to the corporation, making them personally liable. So we build these, I call them financial vehicles. We build these financial vehicles for specifically for a person to operate in commerce, to make money, to leverage and build credit. And each vehicle is designed differently. Now, Industry Guard does the same thing, except we offer slightly different services because it's specifically designed for like mainstream artists, that's in the like music and entertainment industries. So the big thing that I've seen recently and come to realize is that we have a lot of people that are involved into these major industries, like the music and entertainment, and the perception of it is that they have a lot of money, they have a lot, in which they do see a lot more money comes in, but also at the same time a lot more money goes out. So I've heard a lot of horror stories about due to people basically financially collapsing even while making millions of dollars as opposed to thousands of dollars, because they don't have the proper financial foundations in place or proper vehicles set up to protect assets or to leverage assets, to proper vehicles to separate their personal issues and making their corporation, their business liable for personal things going on, like child support and whatever else they might owe, taxation, federal, state tax and things of that nature. So we create vehicles to separate their business from their personal affairs. And we focus on helping people manage and leverage their money that they're getting, so that they can actually build a foundation of wealth for not only them, for their family. We're getting too accustomed to settling with the fact of, just making ourselves money and making ourselves rich and making ourselves wealthy. But, true wealth is designed to be passed on. True wealth can sustain a whole family or bloodline. So that's the whole objective. And many people are not going outside themselves. They make some money, then they die. And the majority of people that have had money and don't have money, they don't even have the basic necessities, like life insurance policies and things of that nature. No trust, no final will and testament. So Industry Guard is designed to provide these things for you, and for the particular artist or entertainment personnel.
And why more so the emphasis on the artists and the entertainment industry? Is it dealing with the amount of finances that they are touching?
Absolutely. So that's why I had to make that disclaimer, and I'm gonna show you guys the promo video in a second. I had to make that disclaimer because Industry Guard is a child company of a parent company, which is Trade Capital.
Right.
So Trade Capital is designed to offer the same or similar types of services, but for the average Joe Blow. You know what I'm saying? For people that's just trying to migrate from working a 9 to 5 into establishing and running their own operation or own business and stuff like that. So it's designed, like I say, very similar services. The biggest difference is the price. You see what I mean? So we bring things in order for me to truly give to my people, it has to be obtainable. You know what I'm saying? So I create these different subsectors to be able to, this is for you guys, this is for you guys. You gotta have Happy Meal specials for the homies.
Right.
So I do this. So now I eliminate. I provide solutions. We provide the solutions, and if we do it in this fashion, we eliminate the doubt and the excuses people give. Oh, it costs too much. All this, all that. We have payment plans. We have ways we can leverage and make the money you spent for the package back. There's so much stuff that, and the value of the package always exceeds the actual ticket price of the package by at least quadruple. So we're nearly giving this stuff away. Now, Industry Guard is at this point a private organization on a referral only basis. So it has to be direct connect or referral from an in-house personnel that's involved in whatever industry, and then we'll work with them on that fashion. So, but for trade capital, those are designed for for everybody, that's trying to get there. So Industry Guards, people that have already made their first couple millions, and but they're looking to protect and leverage their assets.
Okay, so for both services, you said, okay, the second one is by invite only. Mm-hmm. Does the invite only have to mean? Does it mean that the person has to be a member first of Trade Capital before they make that referral?
No. Let me go. Let me switch over real quick and share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So all right, so this is Industry Guard. All right, so that's Industry Guard. So we go check out the packages.
They're gonna overlook everything that you just showed them in that video, and they're gonna be like, "Why you had all them Albions in there?"
Why? You say why I have what in the video?
They like, "Why you got all them Albions in your video?"
Right. Look, see, I have a long history of I have a lot of different skill sets. So like I had like about 10 years ago, I had a graphic design company, marketing, media. I've been in a lot of different industries. Now I just know in general how to present things. Because even though they say why, that'd be the reason why they bought into it. You see what I mean? Because people, even though we talk that Black Power shit, we're not really about that as a collective. We believe when we see, other faces on there, other certain imagery. Right. But I tend to blend the two together. Like you see, like even with the packaging, you got Jay-Z on there, Kendrick. You got you got these other, I mix it up. It's all about diversity. That's enough. I'm not gonna alter what I know I need to do based on a current condition. I'm understanding the condition, but we need to create balance. And like Industry Guard is not meant to be. It's not meant to sell to somebody per se. Like I'm not here to pitch Industry Guard. I can really care less if somebody jumps on or not. Like I said, this is referral only. Industry Guard is going to be something where eventually we're going to see is going to be strategic members that are gonna display these images. Like you're gonna see that IG logo on a lot of different things in relation to a lot of mainstream artists and celebrities, and people are gonna wonder what the hell is IG, what the hell is industry guard, and eventually they'll know inside of that industry, inside of that tier of people, they're gonna know that when they see that on somebody's wallet or on somebody's whatever, they're gonna know like, oh, they protected. That's like the legal shield. This is like the legal shield for the industry.
Got it.
So each package, let's scroll down to how. So let's scroll down to the platinum package. So platinum package includes family trust, domestic business trust, LLC formation, free logo, web domain, business phone number assistance, private custom business email account, business startup website, free private webmail, free logo, business cards, free notary, free corporate EIN, free 411 business listing, business credit vendor list, business credit manual, free business coaching, Duns and Bradstreet registration, and the list goes on. And it also comes with the whole exclusive national travelers package that I was just talking about earlier. So it comes with the whole travel kit, and it includes by option the 885 hemp exemption. So for artists that's always riding around with weed and shit, they need to be protected. So it's all about having the tools. If our people that's in these big industries have these tools, these foundational tools, it would eliminate half the legal bullshit they go through, which means it's going to save them more money and put them in a position to make more money.
We can minimize the Tekashis, meaning that the artist can stop getting flipped on basic charges and allowing authorities to twist their arms once they have them in compromising positions, just based on them, tripping up in the lifestyle that they live, because they're gonna have weed. Some of them gonna have pistols. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, some of their entourages.
Yeah, and we're not doing nothing wrong.
With a identifiable target on their backs, they're public enemy number one, or they're the number one ops out here for different authorities to flip, because they just set a precedent. So yeah, they gonna need some protection out here.
Yeah, because we know damn well it don't matter how many of us get jammed up on that level. We're still going to be doing these things. We're still going to be riding with our entourage. We're still going to be targeted. We're still going to have some weed somewhere. We're still going to have pistols somewhere. So I'm not saying let's stop saying, let's not give the unrealistic approach to say, well, let's stop riding with weed. Let's stop riding with, because they're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people can't even, no disrespect, but a lot of, like, especially rap artists and high frequency rap artists can't function without some weed or some drinks. So it makes more sense to focus on it's not what you do, it's how you do it concept. So I'm not saying don't ride around with your weed or your hemp. I'm saying get a federal exemption. I'm not saying don't ride around with your guns. Make sure your guns are properly placed in a business trust. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So can you tell them about the federal exemption for the weed? I don't know if plenty of the people on this particular call in this line might know what you're speaking on. Can you elaborate?
I got to speak very minimum on that, because if they want to know more information on the federal exemption, they can go to growingfarms.com.
You spell it different though, right?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
All right.
So Growing Farms is GPHARMS.com. So it's spelled with a PH. And so all the information is on here regarding the exemption. So I would recommend you guys going on there, doing your research, and then just contacting the administrative office for more information if you guys are interested in that individually by itself.
Right.
Let me see. So this is the American National Prep course, which is one of the courses that have to be taken before getting qualifying for international driving permits and driver's licenses. This is the Foreign Travel Administration. This is our organization that offers the international driving permits. This is like the DMV for the private sector. So
Right.
instead of DMV, you got FTA.
Dope.
So this the objective. This the whole point. We have to create. We got a lot of building to do if we want to declare our independence. We have to, because we need services to be provided to be able to operate. We can't just walk around here naked. We too late for that. We crying what? We crying the same tempo, same song. We have to.
Same cry, right?
It's been too long. It's been. We should have said that centuries ago. You know what I'm saying? Before we allowed them to claim all the land, and we keep. You don't know what's funny? Is that a lot of things people say be like true. It's facts, right? Like this is our land, brother. I know how many. I bet you can't count how many times you've heard that. This is our land, brother. This is our land, brother. Okay, but what? You know what I'm saying? This is our land, brother. So we got stuck on keep on repeating, this is our land and blah, blah, blah. And we're fighting this battle that's not winnable because we're striking in the wrong direction.
Right, with the wrong.
You know what I'm saying? We swing it at thin air. We're not even hitting nothing because we're not hitting the foundation. The foundation of the problem is when I leave out this house right now, I'm walking on the problem. You're like, what are you talking about? When you walk outside your house, you walking on the problem because it's a duality. It's true that this was our land, brother, right? Or this is our land, brother. All right, true. But it's also the same fact, equal fact, and everything's balanced. So it's always an equal opposite. And that's where we find our answers once we can acknowledge the two. It's also the exact fact that the actual land that the actual surface that I walk on when I go outside is not ours. We don't own concrete.
Facts.
They own the concrete.
Right, your land is underneath.
Our land is underneath. We allow them to build on the land.
You gotta crack the concrete.
We gotta crack the concrete.
They're not on the land. They're not on the land.
They not on. You said, I mean, that's
they're an inch or two off of the land.
Absolutely.
I was speaking about this the other day. You know, when I was being interviewed by Sarnetta, he was asking me, what do I know? What do I think about flat Earth? I said that's not a conversation that I'm interested in having, because whether the Earth is round or flat, people don't live on Earth. Right. You know what I'm saying? They live 2 inches off of Earth, based on the fact that the concrete is one issue. The second issue is that we've had rubber soles on our shoes since the 60s, you know, and this is a deep point because we were unified. We had a semblance of unity when we didn't have rubber soles, when we were grounded to the earth, when we were able to receive the electromagnetism and the information and the biofeed, and you act as a fulcrum point between the heavens above and the ground below. Ever since we really started wearing rubber soles and gotten into the tennis shoe, or they call it they got a whole different name in the UK. They call it the track shoes and shit, whatever they call it, right? In DMV, they call it the tennis shoes. We call it sneakers up top. We call it kicks and everything. Ever since we got into this rubber sole game, you know, if I'm 40 plus years old, my accumulative years of having stood on the earth only might add up maybe to 1 year. Out of my 40 plus years, only 1 year out of my life have I actually stood on the earth and received the energy and the information from the earth. Everything else I have been in an artificial rendering, you know what I'm saying? Where I have been receiving nothing but telecommunications, communications, and signals from satellites and other shit that they beaming. You know what I'm saying? So stop talking to me about, you know, what you feel is indelibly yours, and you can't even identify it. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what the earth look like,
Mm-hmm.
what it tastes like, what it feel like. You don't know what it's hitting for.
Mm-hmm.
All you know is concrete and glass and steel. Cut
Yep.
it out.
Yep.
You in the matrix, my nigga.
Being grounded is a major
Yeah.
major thing, man. Like, I mean,
So I mean, yeah, like think about all that energy that's expended on motherfuckers trying to prove if the
yeah,
earth is round or flat, and you're not
my
even
point
on
exactly.
the earth.
All
You
these
know what I'm saying?
debates and
You can,
stuff.
yeah, you can crack the concrete and free up the actual earth that needs to breathe. She's dying, she's suffocating, and you standing on her back arguing about whether she's round or flat. Get the nigga.
At this point, it don't matter. See that's that you just mentioned another problem. You know, as far as our nation as a whole, is the reason why we can't establish a strong enough
Unnecessary expenditure of energy
debating.
and
The point of a debate,
is unnecessary.
if we say we having a debate, I don't have a problem with debating. But the point of a debate is to come to a resolution.
Right.
You see what I mean? That means that each man needs to honorably and humbly actually, listen to try to understand the other man's point of view. You see what I mean? Because there's something to be understood. Because if I understand you, I actually have a greater understanding now. But if I'm not trying to understand your perspective, because I'm spending my time trying to prove that mine is better than yours, we get nowhere.
Right.
That's an argument. That's not a debate. The point of a debate is to come to for like-minded or people of different minds to come together to share concepts, to share information, to weigh options. That's the whole
To
point.
ultimately come to a conclusion. You're ironing out the wrinkles.
That's
So you
it.
can finally put the suit on. My nigga, not to hang the suit in the closet or lay the suit on the bed and admire it or jump back on the suit and put wrinkles back in it once you ironed it out. You feel me? Or argue because there's one wrinkle, the crease. Nah, until you come back with that iron and get this one little crease out, you know what I'm saying? The suit is not suitable.
Mm-hmm. Now you know what the U.S. always does. Now we take things back to like the age where we identify like individuals conquering nations or territory. They come in. After you conquer the territory, you defeat the king, you defeat the army. What happens? You plant your flag in that soil, right?
Yes.
And that identifies that's your territory, right?
Back.
So the same exact thing is happening right now all the time, except it's not that dramatic. You see what I mean? So just like we go and take the same concept as when you walk outside, we're witnessing this every day, except we're looking for a flag. The flag is not waving around. The flag is right there on the corner. It says such and such street. It's the street signs.
Fact.
The street signs is the flags. That's the claim of ownership of territory.
Yes, because that's tying you into this federal jurisdiction with a zip code and everything. So
your zip code, you're in this
flagpole
district.
is your address, correct?
Your address, this district.
That's the proof, right?
That's it. And then real estate. They sell us
proof of possession. Yes.
Exactly. They sell us real estate, fix and flip. That's retarded. That would be retarded if we really knew what this was all about. Why would you? Well, and then or we actually believe that we own the properties that we in. But if you don't pay them taxes, what's gonna happen? Now we can get to true ownership, maybe, or control, but we gotta dig a little deeper than that.
Right.
We got to understand. First of all, right now, if we go through the maps, we can search different unincorporated territories, which is what we should be doing. And we need to be claiming these unincorporated territories. But first, we got to acknowledge exactly what's going on. These people actually, the street that you're on is actually incorporated itself. The street itself is incorporated. So not only is the state incorporated, your street that the concrete is on. So the street is incorporated. The concrete that's in the corporation, that's patented. you know, and then the house that's built on it is taxed. So where's our land at? Let's start pulling up the LLCs for the streets. Watch how much. Watch how deep the rabbit hole get. I ain't even say too much on that, but because that is actually one of the starting secrets on taking shit back. If we identify exactly what I'm talking about, how serious that is.
Right. Well, brother, I mean, I have some information and some ideas to share that are not going to be shared on air. You know, it's about time that we have a closed door conversation about what is it actually going to take to wrestle power, you know what I mean? And how long is it going to take? And yeah, you know.
We can do a lot together.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm all about structures, you know, building structure. That's my thing, you know. Build structures and build moving vehicles.
Yes, indeed. So is there anything else that we need to share with the family on this beautiful, wonderful day?
Yeah, just anybody that's interested in you know, for the business packages, you can go to tradecapital.world, TRECAPITAL.world. We have a sale going on right now. As you can see, you get the whole shebang right now, $12.50. Like I said, this trade capital is for the people, for any and everybody. You know, we always available. The lines are open. We have free consultations. So just give us a call at 888-597-8825 to get a better understanding on these packages and how they work and how it can benefit you. There's no guesswork when it comes to how we design these packages. We designed it and we educate you on how to operate it. The education and one-on-one consultation time alone surpasses its value.
Right.
If you guys want to be a part of the network for the secure party creditor freaks, have a private network called the Hellraiser Legacy.world. So the Hellraiser Legacy, that's HAILRAZOR.world. You have members all over the United States. Everything is structured by topic. So if you go to Discovery, you can look up anything you want, from UCC filings, human rights, child support, child custody, sovereignty, discrimination, world violence, politics, poverty, uniform commercial code, contract law. The list continues. We'll be having private courses for members only, starting the end of this month, early next month. Have an extensive video library targeting certain topics of problems, granting certain solutions. So check that out. And that's pretty much it on my end.
Indeed, indeed. I definitely appreciate this this mid-afternoon, you know what I'm saying, while people are stuck in traffic and they're inappropriately, occupying these roads, not knowing what their designations are and being misclassified, and just everybody just bottleneck stuck in the matrix. When you really get outside of this country and you come back in, you have a different perspective and a different purview about what you're looking at.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I'm in a different place in my life and my observation about what I'm looking at and how much of my life force that I want to put into different areas of liberation and freedom and enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? When there's so much more to do in this world right now, rather than convince Negro, blacks, or colors that they're more than a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I put the emphasis on that because I'm just saying that's what this system and this society reinforces to you every single day. And you buy into it, You know, you're in the fucking lunch line asking for extra heaps on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? And the only thing that you do in return is you become super critical to the people that actually want to hip you to what the game is. Right?
Definitely.
We the ones you got bullets for.
Mm-hmm.
We the ones that you want to off our heads and impale us in the kingdom to show the queen your fucking allegiance.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, like I'm on a different time as far as that's concerned. But anytime that the brothers call and you have tools and remedies for the good people, the subjects of the kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Then you know, we're gonna get this information out and play our part. But I ain't finna be doing all of this next year.
Right, I feel you. You know, it's a limited time. You know, because at some
I got
point, you know,
you know,
after you commit yourself to all the videos, you already left. You already paved the way. You know what I'm saying? That means that go back and you know and view the materials. You know, you're not gonna
bro.
at
I
some
mean,
point it's repeat.
it's once again. I grew up when we had to get into them libraries. We had to get into the Federal Register. We had to study case law. You know what I'm saying? When we was snatched up, you had to go to the law library. You got to do. You know, you got to read the stuff. You got to put the paperwork together. You got to go into these buildings and do X, Y, and Z. You feel me? So we grew up different. You know what I mean? Now you telling them, yo, I got the video on YouTube. Search it. They can't even search the goddamn video. They can't search the video on
Yeah,
YouTube
or
in the
don't
search
want to take the
engine.
time to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Watch it fully.
I remember we had to go up in the it was a joint downtown on Wall Street. It was called like they had a different name for it, but it comes out to like the Lucifer Trust.
Okay.
Bro, this was like what they made the movie Ninth Gate and all of this stuff about. We had to go up in these libraries with these folks, man, that your name gets run through a system so quick. And they got the men in black downstairs when you come outside of these buildings, right? Depending on what sort of books because you can't check these books out. You can only look at them and observe them. Like, I just know people that went halfway around the world to do some of this research, to unearth some of this information, to come back for some no good Negroes to tell them, man, that shit ain't, this ain't. And I'm like, you ain't even do the you don't even know what I got in my hands to even scrutinize it. Hey, you niggas is agents. You got to be working for the Matrix.
Man, bro.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You want to hold this shit together so bad. You know, when they was on the ropes, you know, now they got a little bit of their win back. You know what I'm saying? But they could still get knocked out by one punch. Like they still got a glass chin.
Yep.
So let's not get it confused. This conversation, unfortunately, is not for everyone. But
Yeah.
once again, for those that covet power, all right, and don't want to compromise, you know, this information might readily be for you if you're ready.
Absolutely. We got everything ready to go, bro. I appreciate the invite once again.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
I did forget to mention trade capital investments. I want to make sure people don't get confused between the difference between the industry guard um, um, and trade capital segments. Like I say, industry guard is like I say the private referral only from person to person. Trade capital is built strictly built for the people that's done with their secure party creditor filings. That's and I've done enough videos on YouTube showing people and even the network providing. Oh, the Hellraiser Legacy provides damn near all the documents that all these guys are selling for thousands of dollars for free. So it's a $24.99 a month membership. I give it all away, but you got to be a member in order to get the information. Once all the tutorials are included. All I do is recommend before you make a solid move, seek counsel before that. So to make sure you're doing things the correct way that best fits your interests and what you're trying to accomplish, because everything is not exactly on a person by person basis. So once we get that stuff done with it out and stop repeating the same thing, we're not making money off that. I'm trying to get people to the point to be able to walk off their 9-to-5 jobs and start building capital and leveraging credit to build even more capital. So that's what these packages are designed for. Once we build up the package, we shooting you right over to Trade Capital Investments. Trade Capital Investments is partners with a 30-year software development company called Global Business Development Solutions. So what we do is Trade Capital Investments assist each partner in building their business credit, and once we build the business credit, we then give you financing from $100,000 up to $1 million or more, and we use that as a strategy to convert those dollars into a residual monthly income for the business. So a person gets the minimum amount of $100,000. What'll happen is we'll give a 10% hardship loan off the $10,000. So now all this stuff is done without no personal guarantee, or you're not obligated to use a personal guarantee. If you don't want to use your social security number, which a lot of us that's doing a secure party creditor stuff and private, American nationals, we try to steer away from the social, that we have alternative options to use other methods that you can use as a personal guarantee to co-sign for your business to establish funding for your business. So once we get that initial funding of the minimum 150, that we got to start shooting higher. Forget $10,000, $1,000 here, $5,000. That's not enough money. So we get a minimum of $100,000. You get, if you need money up front, you get 10% of that. So that's $10,000 in your hand for you to take care of whatever personal stuff you need to deal with, or business related things you need to deal with to get in the comfort zone and create time and space for you to do what you want to do in life. The other 90% goes into the stock market, where we're buying and trading on Forex, cryptocurrency, and things of that nature, buying security bonds and things of that nature. And since we bid high, the return is high. A lot of people I know that's in like Forex, they're going through these third-party organizations, but they're not making no money because they're not putting up no money, and because they're probably worried about losing because they are putting up their own money. The structure and strategy we're using, you have a small initial investment to buy us the time to be able to develop these things for you. But the tactic is we're building capital without you using your own money. You're not investing your own money. That's the beauty. You see what I mean? We're building a vehicle that makes revenue because we're leveraging credit. It's only two things in this commercial world, is debt and credit, and they all are damn near equally the same.
Right.
It all depends on what side of the ledger you're on, because I'm also in the business of buying debt. Why? Because once I acquire the debt, I'm the owner. Now I can reassign. Now I can reassign the debt to another person. So I mean, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Those that caught it, congratulations, because that was a little bit too much sauce. Debt and credit is the same. It's all about acquiring debt.
Mm-hmm.
You acquire the debt, you reassign it. Once you reassign it, it's back in the positives.
Facts. I understand.
All day. So that's about it, bro. I appreciate it. Gratitude again. Like I said, shout out again to my god brother, Amir Bey, for assisting us with this setup. And let's get this train rolling. Yes,
indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you, family. I have some very quick announcements that I need to make before we close out. If the family, anyone online is in the DMV area, okay, if you're in the DMV area, we are going to be in Maryland, about 2 or 3 minutes outside of DC this weekend. October 19th is the Shifter Reunion, the Shifter Return event. We're going to be putting on a 2020 vision seminar, explaining to the family what it is that we are collectively bringing to the table for our 2020 vision. This is going to be at 3311 Rhode Island Avenue, Mount Rainier, Maryland, 20712 from the hours of 3 to 8. This is on Saturday, October 19th. All right. So we will be in the building, Red and Blue Pill. Brother Ben X, Pop Darby, 19 Keys, Reza Islam, Billionaire PA. And I'm sure that there'll be more people popping in and popping out. All right. Also, for November 3rd, of course, the 2020 Ascension Conference. Okay, let me pull up the information and the details on that real quick. Black Magic 363 presents the 2020 Ascension Conference. Feature speakers Red and Blue Pill, Sri Master Gano Grills, and Billy Carson. All right, this is going to be at St. Francis College on November 3rd. The hours, I don't see the hours on the flyer as of yet, but you can acquire tickets from 2020 Ascension Conference.eventbrite.com. All right. And last but not least, on our born day, we're having a retreat back to Mount Shasta. This is going to include, this is an all-inclusive package dealing with hot spring soaks, hemp workshops and farm tour, crystal alchemy vortex, mushroom hikes to waterfalls, chef prepared meals and infused meals. We're going to be doing log cabin lounge lodging, elegant birthday feast at the Belfiore Winery, and more. And that joint is beautiful. It's an estate, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful estate. We're going to be doing our born day celebration there. It's going to be for a small, intimate crowd. You can get details at shastameditation.com. Shastameditation.com is where you can get the information necessary and needed for you to get abreast as to what's about to go down November 14th to the 18th. And I don't know if I'm leaving anything out. I think we have some more stuff coming up in December, but we'll keep you posted, family. All right. In December, we supposed to be back in the UK. I'm waiting for confirmation and a date. All right, so we can make that major announcement to get y'all ready for that. That's gonna be monumental. All right. But with that said, peace, love, and light. Thank you for joining us. You know, sit with this information, listen to it, share it with a friend, someone who needs it, someone who can comprehend it, and someone who's willing to take a risk, all right, that will equal the reward that they're looking for in life. Because people have these magnanimous ideas about where they should be at in regards to the receivership, but they're not willing to put in that work. So, you know, once again, peace, love, and light. Thank you for coming forth with this information. All right. And family, get this book, y'all. It's called Black Amours. Okay. And the author is Onyeka. It's on Amazon. Snatch that joint up. Also, make sure that you go get that book from Ross Ben, Free the Mind, and Your Mind Will Follow. A lot of what we're dealing with in these cities trying to wake up the living dead is because of geomancy, the architectural, you know, the necromancy along with the architecture that's tied in the way that they have created, you know, electromagnetic lockdowns on these grids. So this information is not even connecting with people the way that it's supposed to. Then they got the fluoride, then they got the chemtrails, then they got the GMOs, then they got the bad weed, then they got, you know what I'm saying, 92 different prescription medicines and water, you name it. You feel me? All of these are agents that are used to corrode the mind so you can't make sense of the things that make the most sense.
All right.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have that small spark of light inside of you, right? That continues to flicker, even if it's not shining obtrusively, all right? But it always seeks to increase itself. You know what I'm saying? It always seeks to penetrate the dark and make itself known. So there is a willingness inside of you to gravitate towards power, towards information that will free your mind so your ass can follow. And with that being said, peace, love, and light.
Peace.